This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The opposition weighs in on the debate for the removal of the state of emergency and emergency powers orders this morning. And East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament, Kwesi Thompson, calls for a bipartisan approach to managing the pandemic moving forward. Here's Laurencia Smith with that story.
East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Kwesi Thompson told parliamentarians that the opposition agrees that the emergency powers need to end. He made this comment on Wednesday during the debate for the removal of the state of emergency and the emergency orders, which will come to an end November 13th. Mr. Thompson did not shy away from pointing out that before leaving office, the minister-led administration tabled a similar bill.
They have decided to move it in a different way, in that they've decided to lay the rules as opposed to presenting a bill. That bill, which was tabled, it was intended on that bill being sent out for consultation, which it was. We believe that, and hopefully the now government would have taken a look at that bill, looked at some of the comments that came back, and in addition to that, be able to come up with the best proposals moving forward.
Now, the East Grand Bahama MP provided recommendations to the section of the rules that speaks to the advisory committee. Under the current rules, members recommended for the committee is made up of health experts. Mr. Thompson suggested that the committee have experts from the legal and the financial community. Meanwhile, he pointed out that under the former government's bill, there was a seat at the table for the opposition.
We put it in the law that someone nominated by the opposition was also going to sit on that advisory committee. It was always said from members of the government when they were in opposition that they wanted to be at the table to be able to speak to these issues and share their views and speak on behalf of the Bahamian public and be able to speak on behalf of the opposition.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville stood on a point of order to respond to the MP's recommendation.
We know how difficult it is to manage the pandemic, and I've said it before in good faith that we need the opposition and we need the government to actively be involved and to stop politicizing COVID. COVID is a dangerous thing to politicize.
Since March of 2020, the country has been under a state of emergency. I'm Laurencia Smith for Jcn News.
Thanks, Laurencia. COVID-19 claiming another 4 lives here in the Bahamas. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in its latest update, reports that 4 seniors, 2 of New Providence, a male and female of Eleuthera and another of Abaco, died between October 7th and 26th. The victims ranging in age from 74 to 96 years old. These unfortunate deaths push the country's total COVID death toll to 665. 67 deaths remain under investigation. As for new cases, they continue to trend down. 8 new infections were confirmed, 7 on New Providence and 1 on Grand Bahama. 3 of those newly infected from New Providence have a history of travel within 14 days. Total cases in country now at 22,552. Active cases at 262. With 52 people in hospital, 9 of them in intensive care. 17 people were reported recovered on Tuesday. Stay with us. Our final stories are up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.